Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about a very important group in Waco, and it's called Unbound Now. And I've got the Central Texas Regional Director, Kristi Hayes, with us for Unbound Waco. And Kristi, Susan Peters, I have had the privilege of interviewing many times over the years. She's just remarkable in seeing a problem. And it's a very uncomfortable problem.
Yes.
When you think about child exploitation for sexual purposes. And now it's an international program. And so you've been able to kind of step into sort of her role here in Waco, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a big role to fill. You will never fill those shoes. When she asked me to do that, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is a big role to fill because she is so amazing in so many ways. She's great.
Well, Susan has, they've kind of relocated, but she's still very involved.
Absolutely.
With Unbound. So let's talk about, I was able to go to your fundraiser gala. It was wonderful. It was called Igniting Hope, the Igniting Hope Gala. And we were able to kind of visually see just how massive the problem is. Yeah. And I think that's maybe something that folks don't really grasp. It's hard to imagine that there are children that are being taken advantage of and trafficked, and they're just right here in Waco.
That is the difficulty. I think anytime that I have this conversation, most people see it as an over there problem. And when I explain to them this is happening right here under our noses and give them some of the stats. So for instance, this year I was just looking at our stats just from 2025. So the last 6 months, we've already taken 400 crisis response calls. So we have a 24/7 line. So that's law enforcement calling us. That can be victims calling us. We have more minors this year than we've ever had. We've already served over 100 individuals just in the Waco area. So we serve Falls County, Bosque, McLennan, just in that area. That is how many we've served. And they are all Central Texas. And so I also, my purview is Austin as well. And so the numbers even grow there. But it is interesting when we have these conversations to say these are actually American Central Texas kids. This is happening right here, and adults. And it is a problem in our backyard. And many times it's just an invisible, it seems like it's just right under our nose and we just don't know.
And I know a big thing part of what Susan was able to do is to educate. I mean, that kind of is the thing. People need to know what to look for.
Absolutely.
From the standpoint of teachers and educators and youth workers, people that are around kids and can see maybe changes in their behavior.
Yeah, some of those red flags, with counselors and teachers. And we have survivors all the time that say, when they were trafficked as a kid, I wish someone would have seen that I was, making A's, and then all of a sudden I started making F's, or I didn't come to school as much, or, just all those different red flags that we probably could have seen if we would have known what to look for. And over the past 12 years, Susan and the team has done an amazing job. They've served over 174,000 professionals, meaning we have trained 174,000 people to spot these red flags, whether it be in law enforcement, hospitals, school staff, just people like us on, who are, in the streets every day looking and seeing. So it's been pretty remarkable what they've been able to do in such a short period of time, the last 12 years.
Yes. Your keynote speaker at the Igniting Hope Gala was so remarkable in that she told her story. And when I saw her, you think, I would never have dreamed.
Sure.
That's the kind of life that she was living as a child. You wanted to kind of briefly talk about that and how her mother didn't know this was happening, or
Yeah, so her story, Rhonda is an incredible advocate now. And what I love about Rhonda is that she actually did a similar presentation for our Heart of Texas Human Trafficking Coalition. So I lead that with our assistant district attorney. It's one of my favorite things that we do to bring law enforcement, prosecutorial teams, because we want to identify victims. We want to serve them with Unbound Now, but we want to make sure that they get the justice they need by putting their trafficker in jail. And so working with the DA's office and different prosecutors. And so we had her come to share where some of those gaps were missing when she was a kid and she was being trafficked. So
And she was very young.
like 10.
Yes.
And I think she told the story. I mean, he was taking her on a plane to Lubbock, and her story is phenomenal. But I think if there would have been some different people looking and just paying attention when some of the, and she even outcried a few times, and it just was missed. And so the beautiful thing, and one of the reasons we always say igniting hope, and even this, it's so hard, it's so, dark, and sexual exploitation is so hard to talk about, but there is this thread of just this hope. And even with her story, she is now a task force coordinator in, a county that is fighting back. She has helped with laws to make sure this doesn't happen to other people and to other children. So it's just really neat to see her use her story for good.
Yeah, and she even came across her trafficker. I mean, it was just a compelling story that she had.
Yeah, she's pretty great. Rhonda Kirkendile is her name, and so you can look her up, and she speaks all over. She's amazing.
When you suspect something's going on with a child, what do you do? Well, who's the first person? Do you call Unbound, or who do you call? Because you are 24/7
Sure.
available.
Sure. So there is a human trafficking hotline that you can call, and you can just Google that. And that is, you can call that, and anytime. Like I sometimes have people who will call me and say, Kristi, this is what I saw. This didn't look right. What should I do? Should I even do anything? I'm like, absolutely. Always do something. Like if you see something, I tell my kids this all the time, like if you see something that doesn't seem right, like in your gut that something isn't right. And so you can call the human trafficking hotline, which is a national hotline, and they can get the right people involved. And then of course you can call us at Unbound Now in our Waco office or wherever people are. If you go to our website, unboundnow.org, and go to service regions, it gives you all the 24/7 crisis response lines. And so then our advocates are always answering, and they can help, say, okay, we need to get law enforcement involved, or the next call you need to make is the trafficking hotline or law enforcement. But I always encourage people, if it doesn't look right, if your gut's telling you, say something, do something.
Yeah, you mentioned law enforcement and the prosecutor's office, and I know Josh Teetons and his office, the McLennan County DA, was honored
Yes.
at the banquet. And so tell us what that means, that collaboration that you have with Unbound Now and the DA's office.
Yeah, I mean, besides Liz is awesome. Liz Bice is
yes.
district
You work
attorney.
a lot with her.
So we work hand in hand to bring this coalition together. So we've had a coalition for the past 10 years. I can take no credit for it. Susan started that years ago, knowing that we could not do this on our own. We needed other experts in other places to help really encompass these kids and these adults. And so what we do is quarterly, we have a round table where we bring everyone together to hear from a speaker, kind of like Rhonda. She came to one of ours to help us identify gaps or anything that we can learn from a survivor, from other law enforcement that they're doing well. And then we have subcommittees within that. We're a prosecution and protection subcommittee. It's just badges and lawyers that come to that. They talk about what they're doing, how we can help. We have a nonprofit subcommittee. That's all the different nonprofits in the area who may work with kids who are homeless or vulnerable, because it all kind of goes together, right? If you have vulnerable kids, they're vulnerable to trafficking as well, abuse. And so the DA's office has just been an incredible partner with us, because we want to make sure that these traffickers go to jail for a very long time if they have hurt someone. And most of the time, those who exploit one exploit many. And so we want to make sure that they are put in jail. And so it is nice to have a partner like them, that we're working on this together. And I think the victims really see that even when they're on the stand. That is very traumatic for them to go on the stand, and you have 16 and 17-year-olds who are having to relive the just trauma that has happened to them. But when you have people in there besides our advocates, but other people who are sitting in the courtroom, you have lawyers who are trauma informed and survivor centered and understand. It's pretty special for the victim to have people who are on their side.
Yes, and that's got to be such a scary thing, but I think people need to understand too. There's really no statute of limitations on this.
Yeah. So
like in Rhonda's case, I mean, she was pretty young when it was happening to her. But,
Yeah, and then they just put she helped with a law to help
Right.
where that wouldn't be the case. Yeah.
right, right. And so, well, I want to know kind of what led you into this line of work. I mean, tell me a little bit about your background.
Sure. So my background is kind of all over. I love just people. I love vulnerable populations. I was, almost 18 years ago, we lived in D.C. My husband was in the Secret Service, and I worked on Capitol Hill and did some different things in the White House. And we always joked, like, what was the reason I did that? Because I was a youth pastor before, so I had no experience whatsoever. I just thought it would be really fun to, work in D.C.
And this was the George Bush,
George
the
W.
younger,
Bush. Yeah,
the
yeah,
younger.
yeah. And so, so we did Capitol Hill for a while. We lived in D.C., and then we moved back to Oklahoma City, where I continued youth pastoring, and then I was an entrepreneur for a while and started a company called Be Strong Story, where we taught kids and families to go outside of their box and meet people who are different than them and build relationship, and we would do serving projects, and we served the homeless. I had a company within a homeless shelter, which was pretty amazing. And so when we moved here, my heart was to find people who are vulnerable that might need us. Like, how could I help? And what I will say about Waco is there's so many nonprofits here, and
I know. We talk about that often. Yeah.
So it's the most helpful community I have ever. Because usually there's a need. Like when you go into other communities, there's maybe a need or a space that needs something. Whereas here, I feel like everybody kind of knows the need and is helping supply an answer. And so when we moved here, I got to know Susan, and she knew my background a little bit of working with other vulnerable populations and leading in different spaces. And so she just asked me, she said, I need to focus on some bigger things with the entire organization. Would you come in and help lead Waco and then now Central Texas and lead the coalition? And I said, you just don't tell Susan no, right? So
No.
After praying about it and really researching the nonprofit, I've worked for several nonprofits and wanted to make sure it was a sustainable nonprofit. And I said yes. And it has been my greatest joy.
How long ago was that?
3 years.
3 years ago.
Yep,
Okay.
3 years ago. And I have loved every minute. I've never been bored a second, and
Yeah.
just have loved every second of it.
And so what brought you to Texas?
So what brought us to Texas is my husband's job. So he worked here. He's in security, does private sector security now, but that brought us to
good.
Waco.
Well,
And
I'm glad.
I'm technically from Texas. I was born in Lubbock.
Oh, okay.
And was in Texas in Dallas in high school. So the only thing I knew about Waco is we would come here to play sports here. We would play basketball, and we played Vanguard. And so I have a little PTSD now because my kids don't go to Vanguard.
They don't
but
go to Vanguard.
We play Vanguard. And so when I walk in their gym, I have a little PTSD when I walk in there.
Funny.
That's how I knew Waco, and never really thought we'd be back here.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yeah, and two beautiful kids.
2 beautiful kids, a 17-year-old boy who I just love so much, and a 13-year-old girl who's amazing. And I love the teenage years. They are my most favorite. They're so fun. When people say, they're so nervous about the teenage years, it has been my greatest joy to have teenagers.
Yeah. But to look at them and realize what you do for a living, how do you do that? I mean, I don't know. I just worry about the givers, the helpers, and how they cope with what they see and the horrific stories they come across.
Yeah, I think the Lord has helped me really compartmentalize. I'm not going to say there's not some days that are just terrible when you read a case file of a 13-year-old like my daughter. And, I know what my daughter has, and she has a stable home, and she goes to school, and she does all the gymnastics, and she does all the fun things. And like a 13-year-old should feel loved and protected. And then you have another 13-year-old who's lived in 10 different foster homes, who's tried to take their life, who has had no hope because she was, trafficked and exploited and abused by the very, family. We deal with a lot of familial trafficking, which just means your family is a part of that exploitation. And so to think of a kid is just a whole nother trauma of, wait, these are my parents. They're supposed to be protecting me, but yet they are exploiting me. And so, when you see stories like that, and you see we have a home for girls ages 12 to 17, and I see those girls come in and they're not much different than my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is definitely it makes you more passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
And it makes us have really vulnerable and just conversations with our kids that are just kind of lays it out and lets them know I'm not fearful for them, because we know that traffickers look for vulnerabilities, and not that they're not other kids like in a home like mine that can't be trafficked, but if you're constantly talking, if you're looking what they're looking at on the internet, if you know their friends, like I'm in their life, I'm not afraid of that. But they definitely know the warning signs. My little girl actually flew by herself this last week, and she came, and she knows. I mean, no one's gonna mess with her. And I said, did anyone help you, with your bag, or did anyone help you get on the plane? And she said, Mom, I didn't need help. And I said, and she's like, I knew my surroundings. I was paying attention. She knows. So I think we talk about that a little bit more. We're not naive, but I'm not extra fearful for them as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
she sounds very confident, and she's not necessarily fearful. I mean, you don't want to raise kids that are
Sure.
afraid, but yeah. So much more I want to talk to Kristi Hayes about, especially about the Reagan and the underground. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
In our nation, 1,091,000 people are victims of human trafficking. These are people from our schools, our neighborhoods, our cities. Unbound Now tenaciously pursues freedom for every person affected by human trafficking. 24/7, 365, we proactively identify victims and respond to emergency crisis calls. Across our locations in Texas and Louisiana, our expertly trained staff care for survivors through the healing journey and are doing so with a steadily expanding geographic reach. Since 2012, we worked hand in hand with police, sheriff's offices, child welfare agencies, educators, legislators, and prosecutors to ensure no victim falls through the cracks. When law enforcement identifies a victim of human trafficking, Unbound Now is often their first phone call. A trafficking survivor, when they're found, faces a critical first 24 hours. Our staff initiates immediate safety planning, ensuring that this child or adult is not re-trafficked or further endangered. As the situation stabilizes, our advocate walks alongside the survivor to get their life back. Together, they work on resuming their education, attending counseling and trauma therapy, receiving proper medical care, and sometimes even testifying in court against a trafficker. Thousands of people are waiting for their moment of freedom. Made in the image of God, each one merits our most excellent advocacy. Together, we can extend protection, freedom, and hope to those who need it most. Take a moment with me to hear what this means in the words of a survivor we've served.
My life was pitch black. I felt enslaved. I felt deserted, lost, exploited, wondering if I'd ever be free from all the pain I endured. My life felt like a nightmare, like a bad illusion. The only light I had was Unbound Now. I had no money. I was alone, several states away from home. My mom had no idea where I was until Unbound Now found me. They helped me to get home by arranging a flight that very next day. They housed me while I was waiting to go home. They even gave me a flip phone so I could call my mom. I didn't know there was something out there that could change my life. I thought I was stuck, trapped in this life forever. I felt like God was using Unbound Now to guide me on my path to recovery. Because of Unbound Now, I am home with my family. I'm graduating high school, which was a personal goal of mine. I'm also beginning college and getting therapy for my PTSD. They've sent me books to keep my mind occupied. They are also arranging a tattoo removal of my trafficker's name, which will help me remember I am free. I don't belong to anyone anymore. It's hard to believe what I've been through, but I will rise up. And I remember I am not alone. The world keeps spinning and people move on, but Unbound Now continues to check up on me and my new path of freedom. I am so thankful for Unbound Now. God bless.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic. I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
I am so grateful for the work of Unbound Now Waco. They are truly saving the lives of trafficked victims. Stay with us a little later in the show. You'll meet my new sidekick, Elizabeth Riley, our Act Locally news reporter.
With over 50 years in the industry, Arriva Hospitality Group has been delighting guests with unforgettable experiences across Mexico. At Arriva Hospitality Group, we are looking for investors who share our dream of making people happy while our investments grow. Take a closer look at arrivahotels.mx.
Let's unbox the all-new Walking Pad X21. It is the hottest thing on the fitness market right now. Whew. I like it. I like it a lot. Well done, Walking Pad. So after using the walking pad, I absolutely loved it. For the price, I adore it. I highly recommend it.
And we're back with Kristi Hayes, who is the Central Texas Regional Director of Unbound Waco. And really, what you do is so remarkable because it is actually saving lives. I mean, we talk about a lot of the agencies and the nonprofits, and there are a lot of wonderful things to give money to. But it struck me when I was at your Igniting Hope Gala, this is something that is saving lives.
I appreciate you saying that. And I have to say, I'm not in the trenches. My advocates are in the trenches. They're getting the crisis calls. They're
traveling, doing
they're
all
in the hospitals,
Right.
At 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think they've traveled, what did I say? It's like over 20,000 miles this year in 2025, going from crisis calls to hospitals, to juvenile detention centers, to sheriff's offices, to jails, all the places that they're meeting the survivors. And I'm so grateful for them. But yeah, it is a lot. And I do agree with you that they are saving lives. We recently had a minor who, had we not intervened, would still be on the streets right now. And I really don't think it would not have been a good situation for her. And there are that really every single weekend when I get reports and when I talk, and they're just doing it. This is what they do every single weekend. And they do these response calls, and some of them are scary, and some of them, require law enforcement being there with them. But I do agree with you that many times, and it's interesting, our advocates would say, no, we, they're so humble. But as someone who watches it, 100%, they are helping truly save lives.
Yeah, your website is amazing. It's wonderful. You get a lot of great information on it, and you have your personnel, and several people are anonymous because to protect them.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, what is the Reagan? What is this?
Sure. The Reagan is our residential home for girls ages 12 to 17. The biggest need for our advocates is finding residential placement, especially for minors. I think it's one of 3 in the entire state that works with human trafficking.
Really?
Yes. And it is so hard. Right now, we're trying to find care for a kiddo who's over 17. And really, it is this pivotal time that if they do not have a place to be, I mean, their life can go this way or this way. And so the Reagan is that place where they can come. So whether they need just some extra before they go into foster care, or maybe they don't have a safe place to be right now, they've been trafficked, exploited by their family, they can stay with us, 24/7 care. They can be up with us up to a year or more. They go through 3 different stages of hope. We have nurture groups. We partner, it is Unbound Now's house, but I like to say it's the community's house because we partner with Methodist Children's Home. That's where they get their education. We partner with Waco Family Medicine. We partner with the Behavioral Health Center. I mean, so many, I can't even name them all of those who are in their lives and just doing this holistic care, and then we have youth care coaches that are there 24/7, awake staff, there to just love on them and let them know their past does not define them.
The underground, that's in Fort Worth.
Yes. So the underground is also a facility. It's a 24/7 shelter. So a little bit different. So more for those who are homeless. And we know that those who are homeless absolutely are vulnerable to trafficking. Many of the kids who come into that space have been trafficked. And so we're able to set them up with an advocate immediately. And so they're able to build that relationship. It's a 24/7 drop-in center. So they don't live there like they do at the Reagan. The Reagan is where they're actually living. We're, providing all the different things, medical, all that. 24/7 is they can come in and get a safe place to eat, to sleep, to wash their clothes, and then they find a place, or if they need to come back, they can come back. But it's really to help support them and then get them an advocate as they continue their journey.
That's remarkable. You say there are only 3 of the facilities like the Reagan. I mean, that sounds like the problem is so massive. Needs to be a lot more of this kind of thing.
It's so hard to do, and I'll just tell you that. The also the amount of girls. So we have 6 girls that we serve. Any more, I think research says 10 or more that have had that much trauma. It's just we're able to provide really specific care to them.
Yeah.
And just the licensing, the cost, it's probably one of our most expensive programs that we have. And it just, it requires a lot. And so I think it's very hard, for people to do. And so that's probably why there's not a lot. There might be more than 3 now. I know when we were researching, that's what it was. And so we felt like we needed to be in that space.
Yeah. Of course, Unbound, it is international. I mean, I remember when Susan and Joe Scaramucci and some of those folks were going to, was it Mongolia or no?
Yeah,
where was
we have an office in Mongolia.
there?
Yes.
Who would have thought?
Right.
But children there are being brought here. I mean, the problem is just massive.
Yeah, it is massive. So we are now in 46 counties in Texas. We started here in Waco 12 years ago. I think Susan probably thought it would just be Waco and maybe a couple others. But now we have, I think it's 8 service areas in Texas area. We serve New Orleans and Baton Rouge in Louisiana and are in 10 or 11 parishes there. And then we're in Mongolia as well. The neat thing is that people are calling us to help provide training for our coalition. So the coalition that we started here in Waco, bringing everyone together, people want to know how to do that. And so people overseas, Poland, Mongolia, different places in Europe are calling our teams to come over there and teach their teams how to work together. So it's been just this dramatic, ripple effect of what she started here really has just grown and grown and grown. And we're continuing to grow. I mean, it just keeps on and keeps on because the problem is there, and we want to be there to help support it.
Yeah. When you think 12 years, in a way, a long time, but not that long a time for it to be what it is today. Where do you see things going? Because it would be great for you guys to be put out of business, right?
Yes, please.
There was no need for you.
Yes. I mean, wherever the need is, and then the funding, that's any nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like, we want to make sure that we have the funding, the revenue to be able to support the people that work for us, our victims, the programs that they have. And so I think with any nonprofits, it's the more funding that we can make sure and secure, that's how much more, that we are able to do. But even the last 3 years that I've been here, I mean, it has grown exponentially in the different service areas that we've been able to provide. And then with me now overseeing Austin, that office has completely, I think we just hired 4 more advocates. So I think we have with care coordination that the governor endorsed us for there in Travis County and Williamson County, I think we have almost 16 staff in that office. I think it was 3 when I started a couple years ago. So it's just the need is there, and we want to make sure we are there to meet that need.
So how is it funded? I mean, you talk about grants. Is it government dollars, or of course, there's a lot of talk about things being pulled back.
Sure.
All over the place.
Sure.
There.
Sure. So we do take grants. We have federal grants that come through the governor's office through Victims of Crimes Assistance.
Right.
So 51% we're grant federally funded that goes through the state, and then the rest is private donors, foundations. And really our goal is to make sure that our private foundations are ahead of the government grants, because just what you said, you never know what's going to happen with government grants. We don't want to be reliant on those. We want to be sustainable for the future. So we want to make sure that we have, donors who want to come alongside. I always say to donors, of course, I love a check. I'll take any check. But I want you to feel like you are truly a part of what we're doing, and that if you didn't support us, we literally couldn't do. We couldn't be out on the streets with the 17-year-old. We couldn't give housing to the 13-year-old who has literally no place to go. We couldn't do the things that we do every single day in the hospitals with the victim who is badly beaten and she's there for 2 days. We aren't able to do that. I know that sounds so, it sounds so much, but it's really true. I see the gravity of it all the time. If we don't have the support, we don't get to do those things.
Yeah. How can folks help? I mean, number one, do you need volunteers, people
Sure.
to be trained? Maybe they have a passion for this kind of work.
Absolutely.
How do they do that? How do you go about
so if
doing
you
that?
go to our website, unboundnow.org, there's a volunteer button, and it kind of shows the different things. We always need people who will come train in juvenile detention centers, in middle schools and high schools. There's lots of different things. And then, of course, your monetary support is so beneficial.
Well, it was wonderful to see the support that you had, at the gala. What other kinds of things do you do for fundraising for that?
So we have different events. So we have our 5K, which is, I think that's our 10-year anniversary this next
something
year.
about the lights. You're running.
Yes, we run. So we run in the zoo at night, and
Uh-huh.
we had over 2,000 participants last year, which was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And that's really fun because the whole family can get involved. It's such a heavy subject, but this is the one event, like we can get families involved and kids. We have a 1K run, and then we have our gala, of course. And then in September 18th, we have something called the Reagan Sisterhood. And so that is a sisterhood brunch where it is women coming together to support other sisters. And so that is something that we do to help really support our minors and teens, and it also benefits the Reagan House. So we'll have that, and then of course just relationships and people who are like, I care about this so much. I can't believe it's happening here. What can I do? And just building those relationships with donors and having them a part of the process is pretty great.
Oh yeah. So the September event, where will that be? Do you have particulars on that?
Yes. So that is at the Art Center
good.
of Waco.
How
and
nice, yeah.
Yes, at 11 o'clock. And we will have something on our website soon so that you buy tickets or tables for that.
Oh, it is such an important work, and again, it's something that is hard to really imagine. I have 3 granddaughters, and I just cannot imagine them being put in the scenario of some of the case stories I've heard.
Yeah. It is hard to think about, and I think when you really think about these kids and you think about it, for me, I want these kids to have the same opportunity as my kids.
Yeah.
And, we talk about that a lot of opportunity. We all have had opportunities. We've all had people giving us opportunity or a mentor in our life or someone who just said, hey, here's a need. I need to, I can meet that. And they have changed our lives. And so if we get to do that for one kid, and, research says if you just have one person in your corner that says you can do it, you don't have to live like this, you can be successful, and they give you the tools to do it, we have seen kids be able to do it. I mean, it's been amazing to see the differences of even kids that come in to the Reagan or in advocacy programs and they're shut down and they don't want to talk and they're shy. And then, 6 months to a year, they're telling other kids, hey, this is what you can do. This is what you can succeed at. They're getting good grades. They're getting accolades in their sports. And it's just sweet to see that change when you just have someone in their life that says you can do this and then gives them the tools to be able to do it.
What do you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, man. I think I'm proud of you. Yeah, you did it. You did it. That gives me a little verklempt. You did everything that I wanted you to do, that I asked you to do. You listened to me, and you did it. With everything that I gave you, you didn't squander it. I think that's my thing, is everything he gives me, I want to pour out to others. And so I want him to say, like, you did it. You poured it all out. Everything I gave you gave it back.
You're doing it to me now.
That's a good question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do for Unbound Waco and for these lives that are just at stake.
Thank you.
And this ministry. So go to Unbound Now. You can go find it. Give if you can give.
Yes.
Support this organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We've got more show ahead.
I just got my Colgate Advanced LED Whitening Treatment in the mail, and I am very excited to have dramatically whiter teeth in just 10 days. My teeth are going to be 6 shades whiter. The treatment is enamel safe and hassle-free. It's even designed for my sensitive teeth. Let's open it up. Inside we have the blue light whitening device. It's a charger for after each treatment as well. There's a full 10-day supply, and it looks easy to apply. Order yours today at shop.colgate.com.
Stick around for my interview with the lovely and charming Elizabeth Riley. She'll be joining the show August 28th with Act Locally News. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Ann Harder Show on YouTube so you don't miss an episode.
Hi, my name's Erica, and today I'm going to be taking you through my skincare routine using the Tasmanian Spring Water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself. It's packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid and fermented sea kelp to reduce redness and irritation, which I experience daily. So that's it. It's so quick and so easy, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
And welcome back to the show. I am so excited to introduce Elizabeth Riley to you right now because Elizabeth is going to be a part of the Ann Harder Show.
Absolutely.
Excited. You are our Act Locally news reporter.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have joined Act Locally Waco. We're hoping to expand it a bit into Act Locally News, so we'll cover everything from Waxahachie to Salado, and we will be just talking about ways to get involved and take action, help out your neighbors, and do things that reset your social batteries and just take care of yourself.
There is a lot happening in Central Texas.
Absolutely.
And
There's
that's a pretty big geographical area you're talking.
Yes, and it's still growing tremendously at rapid rates, so we're just hoping to catch all the little things that perhaps might slip through the cracks when people are looking at what to do and ways to get involved.
Well, what I love about this show is that we are hyper-local. People ask me, what's the Ann Harder Show about? And just anything that's happening here in Central Texas, which is, there's a lot.
Yes, for sure. So we're really excited to be joining board and hopefully getting some people informed on what to do.
Okay, so tell me all about yourself. I do know you are from Nashville.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is how you pronounce it, not Nashville.
Not
which
Nashville.
is how I said it the first time. She said, no, that's Nashville. Nashville. Okay, so you native?
Yes, native
Tennessee?
Tennessean. I grew up there for 18 years, and then I finally moved when I went to Baylor University for college.
So how did you come upon Baylor University?
That's always such a good question.
Yeah.
I like to say that Tennessee and Texas are sister states.
Yeah.
They're very overlapping in culture, community. Texas is obviously its own thing, and I will never try to step on that or try to put myself above it. But they're very, similar. So my aunt lived in Round Rock for a long time, and so we were always coming here, passing through. Never even knew that Baylor existed, and then came and did the self-tour. I didn't even take a tour with the official campus and whatnot, so it was empty. The campus was dead, and
Really?
I still was like, I can see myself growing into this space. So I felt right at home, and there was a lot of things that kept popping up, like Franklin being the main road through downtown Waco, and Franklin is the town that's right outside
That's true,
of
right
mine,
outside of Nashville.
Yes, absolutely. And Baylor was founded in Independence, Texas, and my high school is Independence High School. There's just so many
I
little
love those commonalities.
overlapping tidbits where it was like the world was just pointing me like, this is where you got to go next. This is where you got to go next, please.
So did you grow up Baptist?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't grow up very religious at all. So I was kind of just putting myself out there. I didn't know what to expect. Also because I went to public school my entire life, and this is the first time I'm taking private education. But I definitely I was definitely able to find my community in a very unique way. And so I definitely wouldn't change anything for the world.
So did you know when you came what you wanted to major in, and tell them what you majored in?
So I actually started out as psychology.
Okay.
I was really interested in neuroscience, perhaps becoming a neurosurgeon in the future. That was my dream way back when. And then I just realized that it wasn't the gig for me. I was definitely there, trying to figure out ways to help myself. I wasn't in it for helping others. And so for myself and for others, I decided to remove myself from that and
change course.
Right. So I added on English as a minor, and then I took a pretty life-changing English course with one of my favorite professors, Dr. Jonathan Reynolds. And he is from Salado, and he's just one of those ones where if you're taking him in the fall semester, he sends you his address for Halloween candy. They do a huge show. They bring in truckloads of pumpkins and 40-foot tall skeletons. And so it was just like, here is what you're supposed to do. He brought back the passion for education that I had and realized that my dream classroom does exist, and that is, you go and you read and you intellectualize and you critically think about pieces, and then you come back into the classroom and you share those thoughts and you digest what other people's perspectives lend them to perceive, and it's just fascinating hearing what other people have taught me and what my professors have taught me.
Yeah, so you were an English major or a minor?
So I switched to English full-time, so I
Okay.
majored in English literature, and then I also found professional writing and rhetoric, which was a bigger platform for me to be able to take everything that I was ingesting and was able to create my own content and, you know, push whatever I was thinking about into actual words, which was just absolutely fascinating.
Well, you had told me that you love being an archivist
I
too.
do,
Now, how did
yes.
that all happen?
Yeah, so I was actually working an on-campus job with the Institute for Oral History, and I was a transcription assistant. So I was listening to raw audio clips, and I was reading the raw transcripts. So they would take interviews, and they would run them through like an AI-generated platform that would write down everything it was hearing. But obviously when two people are talking over each other, technology can't pick up the little tidbits in human conversation.
Yeah, and some words end up really weird.
Right,
You go,
right.
no, that's not what they said.
Trying to translate a Texan accent,
There's that, yeah.
could not. So it's not fail-safe, and so they have to
But
bring
it's
in
a
the
big
backup.
it's a big help than in
Yes,
transcribing every word for
yes,
sure.
and you don't have to go in and type out every single word.
Yeah.
So I originally started doing that on campus with the Institute for Oral History, and I was listening to all of those interviews, and I was learning so much. I became my own like little Waco historian. I was sharing all the facts with my friends.
Tell me, was there a particular person that you were listening to their oral history?
No, I was on all collections all the time.
Oh, okay.
I worked there for a little over a year and a half, so I
was wondering if anyone was kind of standing out in your mind as somebody you
definitely
heard.
the Waco History podcast with
with Dr.
Yes.
Sloan, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is just phenomenal. He's so funny.
He's
The
wonderful. He's
the
been a
guests that
guest
he
on
had
this show.
Yes, the guests that he would have
Yeah,
on were
yeah.
just absolutely informative, and I was taking everything that I learned and sending it to people, sharing it with friends. So I would say that
I
one
love
stood
the
out.
fact that you moved here, as almost an adult, for all intents and purposes. I'm a native Wacoan, and I really have an interest in all that. But the fact that you're kind of new to the area and just have embraced the history of Waco so much is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to be a big history person. I think growing up in Tennessee, you have so much just history and culture there. And so I was always stopping at the historic markers or the preserved homes. And I was just traveling over the continental U.S., visiting, the biggest historic sites that we have. And so it's always just been a side passion of mine. And I think that it just falls right in with my English literature and professional writing expertise. And I'm able to just like pick up this and be like, hey guys, let me tell you, if you didn't know, now you know.
Right, exactly. So you graduated when?
Yes, ma'am. I graduated this past May.
Okay, you're a new grad.
Yes.
And your folks are like, okay, what are we going to do, right?
Right. So I'm like, I promise I have a gig with Act Locally Waco, Rogue Media Network. Yeah, we're just getting the ball rolling here.
Yeah, well, that's great. So you also are a part of the Zach Owens show,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am, I am. I'm on every morning. I have taken over the Nashville Cat position.
Which is perfect for you.
Yes.
You actually are from Nashville.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, I've got a leg up against the competition
Another
here.
one of those pointing, yeah, this is the direction I'm supposed to be in.
Yes, the perfect slot for me to fill.
Yeah.
So I've been taking on that, filling in Nashville country music news, just giving little tidbits in the morning. And then I also give a little Act Locally news segment and just telling people what they can do today for the week, big events that have just been announced. Yeah.
Exciting. Well, there's more I want to hear from you about your ice hockey passion.
Yes.
So we're going to come back and visit with Elizabeth a little bit longer, but you stay with us. We'll be right back. And we're back with Elizabeth Riley, who is the Ann Harder Show Act Locally news reporter.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is awesome to have. Every day you're going to be doing a segment that's going to just let people know what's happening in the area.
Yeah, I think it's very important for people to get involved in their community. I think community is one of the biggest things that we're missing nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to check in on our neighbors and, check in on ourselves, it's important to get out, get involved, and just see what you can do for others and for yourself.
Yeah, well said. I mean, these things are wonderful, but I think they've done a lot to separate people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that today we are living in a high attention economy where every company is just vying for people's attention because that's all that they can give.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have their attention, they can't profit off of you, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of journalism or news outlets will be covering things that are meant to get the biggest emotional turnout, or they're using rhetorical devices that could perhaps be persuasive in a way that turns you to some, one side or the other. But I think it's just important to get the hard-hitting facts out, like what is happening, what people are doing, and how you can be a part of it as well.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you see yourself doing like in 5 years? I mean, what are you hoping?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very much a live in the moment kind of person.
Uh-huh.
I have goals for myself, one being slow down, just
Well, that's good.
I've deleted social medias, my personal social medias. I'm trying to read longer, harder books, and I want to make sourdough bread from scratch by the end of the year.
Will you share some?
Absolutely. I'll share my starter. I will share my
because
baked
I've never done that
pieces.
before.
Right.
That's something I probably need to learn to do.
Yeah, so I like to keep little goals, and I have some, I want to be self-sufficient. I want to be financially independent, but there's not much that I want to have planned in stone for myself, especially with the way that our world is changing. It's entirely unpredictable.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit more about your family.
Absolutely. So I grew up with two older brothers who are 10 years older than me.
Oh.
We have different dads, so they are my half-brothers, but we all grew up just under the same roof, knowing each other as family.
And they were protectors, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah. My middle brother was the one who wished for a little sister for Christmas, and then he got me.
There you go.
Yeah, he was the best babysitter. He babysat me
Aw.
for a long time. They definitely shaped my humor, my, interests, my music taste, everything about me personally. So I would definitely say that they are some of the biggest influences in my life. But my mother worked in downtown Nashville for as long as I could remember, and she finally, switched positions, and she's working down in Murfreesboro, so it's a little less of a drive, but
Right. Oh, yeah.
commuting to downtown is just insane. Worked in the Batman building, which is pretty iconic, just as iconic as the Alico building.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my dad works for Vanderbilt Medical. Doing their,
Vanderbilt, big.
Yes,
thing
yes.
there.
So he's doing anesthesiology records analyst.
Interesting.
He just makes sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted. Yeah, kind of that attention to detail that comes with writers, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It sounds like you took a little of that. too.
Absolutely, for
Liking
sure.
the archivist thing. And,
my dad originally moved to Nashville to pursue music and songwriting. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Is he still doing that?
No, he's not, unfortunately. He definitely wants to get back into it.
Yeah.
But he was doing radio things, and so it feels just very natural for me to be picking up where they've left off.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. So where does the ice hockey thing come in?
Yes. So I grew up with my family being huge Nashville Predators fans.
Okay.
Before I came into the picture, they were season ticket holders.
Yeah.
After I came into the picture, that was not a thing anymore, unfortunately. But they...
Well, things happen when a baby comes.
Right,
That's true, yeah.
right. I have to ruin it all.
Yeah.
But
No, priorities just change. It's not.
we just grew up being huge ice hockey fans,
Yeah.
and my brothers were always playing roller hockey because we didn't have any ice in our area.
I was going to say
Tennessee.
Tennessee. You don't think of as ice hockey country.
Absolutely not, but it's a fast and vigorous sport. I mean, the Huntsville Havoc were really big when I was growing up as well, and people used to say that when you went to a Huntsville Havoc game, you were showing up for a fight and you got some hockey in between.
I know, yeah.
So it's just fast and entertaining, and I mean, it's just been something that has we've always been a huge sports family in general. College football is our go-to, college baseball, professional baseball, just any and all sports we have family members who are involved in, know about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to avoid, but I came to college and I was really bummed out because Baylor did not have a hockey team. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just like scratch that off my cons list. But when I showed up and I went to their late night thing, which is where they have every club on campus set up tables around and you just walk and meet people, I saw that they had a Baylor Hockey Club table set up.
Right.
And I walked up and I was like, hello? What is this?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so we've had a hockey team in the past from like 2007, 2011, and then it was started back up after COVID by Daniel Atkins.
Good.
Yes, and so he reinvigorated the club. We had an amazing, solid team put together, and then Allie Steed also started up the Ice Girls, the Baylor Ice Girls, which is like the PTO of the hockey team. We do all of their background.
Okay. So you're
behind the
not
scenes.
playing hockey
No.
yourself.
No, we are just the ones who carpool to the game. We bring the spirit. We bring the snacks. Make sure that the team's taken care of in between periods. Yeah.
Well, my youngest son, Evan, played roller hockey when he was a kid.
Yes.
So there was that, and that was about the time the Waco Wizards were here
Absolutely.
playing ice hockey, and he went out, and it was just amazing to me. Of course, kids, they can do, but he put on the ice skates, and he just skated on the ice just like nothing. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. But yes, so I mean, there was a period in our life and it was a wonderful sport for him because it was just fast paced and it was fun to watch.
Yes, it is. It is
fun to
so
watch.
fun. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't realize what hockey involves, but it's pretty easy to pick up on. There's not too many complicated rules, and I mean, when something looks illegal, and be like, oh, that probably shouldn't happen, right? Yeah. So I wish that more people would get involved in it. I think that hockey definitely has a chance of surviving in the South. I think that it definitely needs to work on becoming a more accessible sport. It's definitely expensive, like paying
the
for
equipment and all
ice
that.
time,
Yeah.
equipment.
Right.
Yes.
Well, yes, pouring on ice arena was not a inexpensive thing, and then you got to have the Zamboni out
Absolutely.
there, cleaning it off. But
Yeah.
that brings back a lot of fun memories for sure. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to our collaboration for sure.
too.
And I'll be sure to send you things that I see that are coming up, But I'm really depending on you to just keep us informed with what's happening.
I will try my hardest.
Well, delightful to have you on
Thank
board.
you.
Thank you, Elizabeth Riley. Stay with us. There's more show ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Austin. I think I made that pretty clear. Must be something in the water, makes everybody weird. I'd rather die in Waco, live forever in that town. No, I wouldn't piss on Austin. The whole damn place was burning down. I see you wreck San Francisco, San Diego and LA. Now your sights are set on Texas for your new home on the range. Rather be busted flat in Beaumont than live like a king in that town. No, I wouldn't piss on Austin. The whole damn place was burning down.
Have a great day.